Martin Luther, a German monk, priest, professor of theology, and a figure of the Protestant Revolt, also known as Reformation. He wrote and posted the 95 Theses on the church door targeting John Tetzel. This is known to be how Reformation started. Luther came to understand the justification as entirely the work of God. He was excommunicated by Pope Leo X. John Wycliffe, the Reformer in England. Wycliffe was an English priest who attacked some Catholic beliefs and practices. He went against the paying of tribute to the Church by the government of England and spoke against the Pope as the representative of God. John Huss, the Reformer in Bohemia. He was a follower of John Wycliffe, and he was also a priest and professor. He spoke against the forgiveness of sins by confession, arguing that only repentance can wash away sins. Girolamo was an Italian Dominican fray and preacher active in Renaissance Florence, and known for his prophecies of civic glory and calls for Christian renewal. Desiderius Erasmus, the Reformer in Holland. Some of his famous works are In Praise of Folly, Handbook of a Christian Soldier, and the Paraphrases of Erasmus. John Calvin was a Frenchman who was forced to leave his country because of his religious ideas. He fled to Geneva, Switzerland, and he became a famous religious and political leader. Zwingli, a priest in Switzerland that abolished the Catholic Mass, confession, and indulgences. He allowed priests to marry. Zwingli believed that a good pastor or minister and a strong sense of discipline among church members would help Christians lead a spiritual life. Henry VIII was King of England from 21st of April in 1509 until his death. He was Lord and later King of Ireland, as well as continuing the claim by the English monarchs to the Kingdom of France. He wrote a pamphlet attacking Luther and was given the name the Defender of Faith. Edward I was King of England and Ireland from the 28th of January in 1547 until his death. He was crowned on February 20 at the age of 9, the son of Henry VIII and Jane Seymour. He died at an age of 16 when he fell ill. Elizabeth I was Queen of England and Ireland from 17th November 1558 until her death, sometimes called the Virgin Queen Gloriana or Good Queen Bess, the daughter of Henry VIII. She was born a princess, but her mother, Anne Boleyn, was executed 2.5 years later after her birth, and Elizabeth was declared illegitimate. Mary I was Queen of England and Ireland from July 1553 until her death. Her brutal persecution of Protestants called her opponents to give her the name Bloody Mary. Mary was born on 18th February 1516 in London. She was the only child of King Henry VIII of England and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Ignatius de Loyola was a Spanish knight from a local noble family. He was a hermit, priest, and theologian, who founded the Society of Jesus. Ignatius emerged as a religious leader during the Counter-Reformation. Loyola's devotion to the Catholic Church was characterized by unquestioning obedience to the Church's authority and hierarchy. John Knox was a Scottish clergyman and a leader of the Protestant Reformation who brought Reformation to the Church in Scotland. He was educated in the University of St. Andrews and was ordained to the Catholic priesthood. John Eck was the man who had a debate with Martin Luther. He is from the University of Ingolstadt. John Tetzel was a German Dominican preacher known for the order of the Pope to sell indulgences, which was the cause of Luther's 95 Theses. Pope Paul III was the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church from 1534 to his death in 1549. Pope Leo X. He was the Pope from 1513 to his death in 1521. He was the last non-priest to be elected Pope. He was the one who excommunicated Martin Luther.